What if Donald Trump stormed the White House? Well, it certainly wouldn't be a great idea for him or the group of supporters he may or may not have there. I mean, considering the White House is one of the most heavily guarded places in the world, I think most of us could agree that it would be a pretty foolish idea. We can, however, always ask ourselves, what if? If Donald Trump stormed the White House, depending on whether or not he did it with a group of supporters by his side, there would be a few things that may happen, all with pretty much the same outcome. Firstly, not only is the White House one of the most protected places in the world, but the president themselves is one of the most heavily guarded people in the world. After all, it's a pretty high-risk job. The president is constantly guarded and is offered some of the best protection the world has to offer. This seems extremely fair considering the 30-odd assassination attempts on presidents in US history. The president alone has a multitude of options in a situation like this. The decision on where to go likely wouldn't be made by the president, but rather the head of security, the Secret Service agent who is the head of the Presidential Protective Division detail for the US president. The president has a multitude of safe vehicles, such as a bulletproof vehicle or the plane meant to withstand nuclear bombings, but there isn't exactly a tarmac on the White House property, so it's likely that the president would just stay where they are. Well, just further down. Under the east wing of the White House, there is a Presidential Emergency Operations Center. This is an underground bunker sort of situation that acts as a command center in emergency situations, such as, I don't know, a storming of the White House. The bunker is protected by airtight steel doors and is the last line of defense for the US president. While this bunker's existence is well known, there is a rumor that in 2011 there was an expansion added to this bunker, but that is something that hasn't been confirmed. This rumored expansion is said to be 5 stories underground, and it's even equipped with its own escape route just in case it somehow becomes compromised. It is said to have its own air supply, food and water supply, as well as being virtually radiation proof. This is where we all want to be when the apocalypse starts, so if you're wondering how to get your own, it's just a cool estimated $376 million in case you've got that kicking around. So that's what the president would be up to, while of course still being guarded by at least a few Secret Service agents, but what would be happening back up on the ground? Well, the first line of defense for the White House is a pretty obvious one, and that would be the 11-foot fence that surrounds the property. This is usually pretty good at keeping people out. I mean, it isn't exactly screaming, "come on in," and you can't just casually hop an 11-foot fence, so it makes it difficult when you're trying to be low-key. It is said that the White House has about 1,200 Secret Service agents who are on patrol in the area. Add to that the rumored 2,800 plainclothes agents who are also just in the area in case anything happens, but you won't even see them coming. So we've got a rumored 5,000 agents just in the area, but then we have to add the hidden agents who move around the property. These agents are said to be armed with things like semi-automatic pistols, shotguns, and even machine guns. And remember how I said they're hidden? Yeah, this is exactly why even the thought of storming the White House is a ridiculous idea. On top of all of the agents we've already talked about, there are also snipers sitting on the roof of the White House. These aren't just your regular old snipers either. These guys need to re-qualify every month in order to show that they are equipped for the job. The qualifications include hitting a target over 1,000 yards away, which I would definitely think would qualify somebody for this job. These snipers aren't the only eyes from above though, as there are most definitely surveillance drones flying around the property catching a bird's eye view of everyone's movements. And you know who's probably watching what they're seeing while this is all going on? The president in his underground bunker. It does happen, or it has happened in the past, that people have somehow found their way onto the White House lawn. I mean, it happened in 2011. On November 11th of that year, a 21-year-old man fired multiple rounds at the White House using his semi-automatic rifle. Do you want to know how protected and guarded the White House itself actually is? No one knew for 4 days that any of his bullets had struck the White House because the building itself is obviously bulletproof. At least 7 shots hit the second floor window, but little to no damage was done. This all just goes to show that in the off chance you get through the human guards of the White House, there's always the challenge of how do you get through a bulletproof building? Well, you probably don't, to be perfectly honest. Probably, however, doesn't mean it's impossible though, because it has happened. There's a fairly long list of White House security breaches, some worse than others. One of the worst actually took place fairly recently in 2014. This is when a 42-year-old man somehow got through the front doors of the White House, and not only that, he got into the East Room, all the while having a 3.5-inch folding knife in his pocket. I'm not sure the logistics of how this was even possible, but I'm sure someone got in trouble. This was just one man though. If Donald Trump were to storm the White House with a group of supporters, there's no way this would be possible. The previous security breaches where they were able to actually make it through the doors of the White House were simply because they didn't appear to be an imminent threat. One calm person is way less likely to be noticed than an angry mob of screaming people. It also wouldn't be an easy task for Donald Trump alone to storm the White House, well, because they know who he is, and he doesn't exactly blend into the crowd. It's not like former presidents usually show up unannounced to the White House, so seeing Donald Trump there out of the blue might raise some alarm bells for the Secret Service agents. Everything I've mentioned today is based on the security measures we know exist in the White House, or at least there are highly speculated to be there, but there are probably many more that we don't know about. I mean, it would be a terrible defense strategy to let the whole world in on all of the security measures and escape routes that exist. There are plenty of rumors out there about what might exist in terms of weaponry and defense systems in the White House. These rumors include things like entire canine units and a bunch of high-tech weapons that we don't even know exist. At the end of the day, if Donald Trump stormed the White House, he would likely either be arrested or killed, and that's the same for anyone who chose to join him. Those who protect the White House have learned in the last 200 years some exceptionally valuable security lessons, and it is not a place to be messed with. Everyone has a right to protest, but it's abundantly clear that the White House is not the place for it. It is highly unlikely that Donald Trump would ever storm the White House, which is good news for everyone, but it's always fun to ask ourselves, well, what if? Thanks so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to see more. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time, LBQ. Bye!